Hey everyone, welcome back to Mather PE. It's August 27th. We're about 2 weeks away from heading back to school, and something pretty remarkable happened yesterday. And for those of you who know me, you know my love of basketball and my love of the Milwaukee Bucks. I've been a fan for over 30 years, so the last couple of years have been pretty exciting as we try to chase down a championship, the first one since 1971. So this season was cruising along great with the best record in basketball, and then in March, COVID hit and shut everything down, and we had to do some major adjustments. And COVID brought major upheavals in the economy and health and society in general, and brought all professional sports to a standstill. And so life really changed for a lot of us. And despite COVID, or perhaps with the impetus of COVID as well, the Black Lives Matter movement was able to surge forward with calls for awareness and action to fight against racial injustice. And something that I had never seen to that extent before, and I was so proud to see that and frustrated at the same time. And I do think that a lot of awareness increased and has increased, but change is slow and too slow and sometimes not recognizable at all. And I think that's part of the frustration that's boiling over right now as well. When it was announced that the NBA was going to form a bubble in Orlando and still try to go ahead with the end of the season and playoffs, I was super excited because, I mean, this is a great year for the Milwaukee Bucks to perhaps win a championship. It also created a number of unique situations and circumstances that had to be planned for to live in a bubble. I was really pleased with the NBA's response to put Black Lives Matter on the court and to allow slogans to go on the back of jerseys, just to keep that awareness going and to give a voice that gets seen nationally continually to a large segment of the population. So thank you to the NBA for doing that in the bubble in the first place. I mean, it's a very different response than was seen with Kaepernick in the NFL response to protest. Getting a message out is great. Awareness is great, but change is what we want. Change is what's needed. And these events just keep on happening over and over and over again. And with Jacob Blake being shot 7 times in the back by police, it just brings this to a head. And the fact that it happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, is right in Milwaukee's backyard. Further to that, when they have protests about the shooting, people are getting shot. So now we have NBA players that are trapped in a bubble who have been trying to use their voice, and the voice and the message isn't enough. So the next form of protest is what they chose. Whenever people protest, they want the protest to have an impact. And the Milwaukee Bucks made a bold decision to boycott playing the Orlando Magic last night. And I loved the Milwaukee Bucks before that, and this only increases my love for that organization, increases my level of respect for the players that are willing to take this stand and not take the floor. Is it sad not to see basketball? Of course. Is it uncomfortable? Of course, but that's the point. I was talking to somebody earlier today and they said, but the NBA players are just hurting themselves by not playing. They're not hurting themselves. They're trying to help themselves. They're trying to help society. They are demanding change. Do I want to see basketball back? Of course. Do I want to see the Bucks win a championship? Of course. But it doesn't really matter. Life matters way more than the love of basketball. For fans that are angry or frustrated and think it's a silly move to make and it's really inconveniencing them, well, we love when our teams win. We cheer, we celebrate, we get excited when they win championships, when they win games. Well, why can't we also have the same emotions when they're struggling and have empathy? We want to be with them through winning championships as though they've won championships for us. So why can't we be there as their team as well and support everybody in this struggle? So thank you to all the Milwaukee Bucks players. Much respect. The Milwaukee Bucks released a statement yesterday for the media, and it basically is as follows. The past 4 months have shed a light on the ongoing racial injustice facing our African American communities. Citizens around the country have used their voices and platforms to speak out against these wrongdoings. Over the past few days, in our home state of Wisconsin, we've seen the horrendous video of Jacob Blake being shot in the back 7 times by a police officer in Kenosha, and the additional shooting of protesters. Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there's been no action, so our focus today cannot be on basketball. When we take the court and represent Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we are expected to play at a high level, give maximum effort, and hold each other accountable. We hold ourselves to that standard, and in this moment, we are demanding the same from our lawmakers and law enforcement. We are calling for justice for Jacob Blake and demand the officers be held accountable for For this to occur, it is imperative for the Wisconsin State Legislature to reconvene after months of inaction and take up meaningful measures to address issues of police accountability, brutality, and criminal justice reform. We encourage all citizens to educate themselves, take peaceful and responsible action, and remember to vote on November 3rd. Purposeful and professional statement.